This is Mac here with another N5 grammar lesson, and today we're going to talk about mama and kotogaaru, which are two structures that you use with the simple past tense in Japanese to talk about experiences and to talk about a state that has been left unchanged. And so first, you're talking about your experiences with your friend, and you're talking to her and you say, okonomiyaki o tabeta koto ga nai kara tabe ni ikou yo. And so she responds, okay, itsu iku no? And you respond, doyobi wa do? She says, ii yo. So let's break down this conversation real quick. Okonomiyaki is what you see there in the background. It's kind of it's been described as a savory pancake. It's basically a big chunk of batter and meat and cabbage, sometimes noodles, that's fried, and then you put some sauce on it, some mayonnaise, some fish flakes. It's very good, very famous in Osaka. And you say tabeta, which is the past tense of taberu, to eat, of course. And then koto ga nai, so you don't have the experience of eating this okonomiyaki. And kara means so or because. It marks the reason for something. And tabe ni, eat. Ni is to, this structure here is to kind of, ni iku is to go and do something. So tabe ni iko is let's go and eat. Iko is the volitional form of iku. It's the casual form. Maybe you've heard of the more polite form, which is ikimashou. This is the casual form that you would usually use in conversation with your friends. Yo is just being more assertive with your conversation there. And she responds, okay, which is, of course, okay. Sounds good. Another casual thing that comes up a lot in Japanese. And itsu is when, iku, to go. No is the question marking particle for casual conversation. You respond, doyobi, which is Saturday. Wa is the topic marking particle. And do, so how, as for Saturday, what do you think? Do is, how about Saturday? And she says, iyo, sounds great. And you were using koto ga aru. Actually, you were using the negative sense of this, koto ga nai. But koto ga aru is basically a way to talk about your experiences. And you can think of this as the present perfect tense in English to talk about experiences. So, for example, Fransu e ita koto ga arimasen. So, in English, we would say, I haven't been to France. I haven't had that experience. Or the positive would be, Fransu e ite koto ga arimasu. So, I have been to France. I have eaten okonomiyaki. I have been, I've gone skiing. Talking about the experiences that you've had in your lifetime. It pretty much roughly matches up with that in English. This talking about experiences. And you can think of this kind of as the typical ga arimasu form when you have talking about possessions. So, for example, kuruma ga arimasu. So I have a car when you're talking about your possessions. Just here we've added koto, which changes verbs into nouns, essentially. It's a nominalizer. Is the English term. And so you've nominalized the verb into a noun, and so you're talking about you have that action, you have that experience, you possess it. One thing to keep in mind here, though, is in Japanese, you can actually use specific times. So normally in English, you can't say, I've been to France 3 years ago, but you can... it's not the same thing, obviously, but you can say that in Japanese in a way. So, for example, Fransu e 3 nen mae ni ite koto ga arimasu. So, 3 years ago, 3 years before, I went to France. I had the experience of going to France. Is kind of a weird literal translation there. But just keep in mind that you can actually use times with this, whereas in English you obviously can't. So that's koto ga aru, or in polite form, koto ga arimasu. Now, moving on, using mama, you go to eat okonomiyaki. You finished eating okonomiyaki, and you say to your friend, shimatta, densha no naka ni kaban o oita mama o surimashita. And she responds, taihen da, watashi ga harau no. And you say, gomen. And she says, ah. So shimatta, we learned last lesson, is basically a way to say like, oh shoot, oh darn, I've done something regrettable. And densha, of course, is train. No is the possession particle. Here it's kind of being used to describe what kind of naka, what kind of inside are you talking about. So ni is the in, on, at particle. So in the train. Kaban is bag. O is an object marking particle. Oita is oku, which is to place something somewhere. And mama is to the state has not changed. So you place the bag in the train and you didn't change the state. And then wasaremashita is I forgot about that situation. So I put the bag in the train and left it in that state, and I forgot that I left it in that state, is the long literal translation here. And your friend responds, taihen da. Taihen is kind of like, oh, that's rough, that's serious, that's too bad. And watashi ga is, watashi is I, ga is the subject marking particle, so I am doing the action. Harau is pay. No, again, is the question marking particle for casual sentences. So she's asking, so I pay? I have to pay? And you respond, gomen, I'm sorry. And is, oh man, I got to do this. Your friend's not too happy that she has to pay. And you were using the mama. So this is to talk about leaving a state unchanged. And at the N4 level, you'll probably only see this as past tense plus mama, and then the sentence continues with something else, like wasarimashita, or ie o demashita. I left the house with this state happening, or I fell asleep. Nemashita, I left my glasses on and I fell asleep. That's basically the structure that you'll see at the N4 level. But you can use this in other situations. For example, this sentence here, ima no mama shite oite kudasai. So ima is now, no is how you connect. So ima here is being used as a noun to connect with mama. So ima no mama, the present situation, present state. Shite is do it in the present state, like to prepare for the event. Oite, again, we practiced in the lesson before. This means to do something in preparation for something else. So here in this situation, you're saying, oh, just leave it as it is, in preparation for something that's happening in the future. And so this is a structure that you can use with mama. You can say ima no mama or sono mama. So leave it like that. Kono mama is leave it like this, like I'm showing you, something that's in my possession that I'm doing. And you can use that kind of structure. That's not so common on the N4, but just know that it exists. You can also use this with E adjectives. So takai mama, so keep it expensive. You can also use it with na adjectives. Shizuka na mama, something something. You can use it in all those kinds of structures, and also with nouns, obviously. Noun plus no plus mama. However, you're probably only going to see it as past tense plus mama on the N4. For more details, check the PDF, check the guide, the N4 grammar guide at the premium site to find out more about how to use this more specifically. And there's also a small chance that you might see this in the negative sense. For example, shukudai o shinai mama karasu ni ikimashita. Generally speaking, this is not used in the negative sense. It can be, it's grammatically correct, but just there's other structures in Japanese to express this idea. And so it's usually not used in a negative sense. However, if you do use it in a negative sense, it needs to be the present tense, negative present tense, like in this structure. So shinai and not the past tense, not shinakata. So just keep that in mind. Are you ready? Do you think you have it all? Let's do a quick pop quiz here. What is this in Japanese? I have eaten sushi. I have eaten sushi. In Japanese, that would be sushi o tabeta koto ga arimasu. So sushi, of course, is sushi. O is the object marking particle. Tabeta is the casual past tense of taberu, to eat. Koto nominalizes it, turns it into a noun. Ga marks it as the subject. Arimasu means it exists. In this structure, ga arimasu is used to talk about possession again. And next one, I left the lights on and left the house. I left the lights on and left the house. So in Japanese, this would be denki o tsuketa mama ie o demashita. So denki is electricity, but it can also mean light. O is the object marking particle. Tsukeru is to turn on some kind of electronic device. You can use it in that sense. So tsuketa is the past tense, the simple past tense of that. Mama is to talk about it, a state being left as it is. Ie is house. O is object marking particle again, and demashita is leave, to go out of the house. You might be a little confused here. I should say O is usually the object marking particle, but in this sense it's used as in a specialized way to mean that you're moving through something and to perform an action, and the action isn't taking place in that area per se. Like, you want to emphasize that you're going through that place, and this is usually used in this sense with deru, to exit someplace, or it can also mean if you're walking through a park to get to somewhere else. You could use this o marking particle to mean that you're going through something. But it's most commonly seen with deru, to exit something. You'll see it at kind of this level, at the N4, N5 level. You'll see it a lot with that verb. So to finish it off, today we used kotogaaru to talk about your experiences. That's past tense plus kotogaaru. And just keep in mind that you can use times with this structure, unlike in English, where you can't use times with the present perfect tense. We also talked about mama, leaving a state unchanged, and to use that you use past tense plus mama. And you can also use negative present tense plus mama. However, that's a lot more rare and probably won't show up on the N4 test. But just keep in mind it does exist, and you can make sentences grammatically correct with that structure. However, it's not so common. So that's it. If you know anyone that is studying for the N4 test, I'm sure they would love it if you could share this video with them. Share it with anyone that happens to have some problems with Japanese, and help them out. And if you are studying for the N4 test, I strongly encourage you to hit the subscribe button so you can get more videos like this, grammar tips, tips on some great resources on how to study for the N4 test. All of that, it will be available on this channel. So hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section, and stay tuned for some more great grammar videos. This has been another grammar explanation video from the JLPTbootcamp.com premium site. There at the site, you'll find a lot of other extra goodies. For example, all of my guides, including the JLPT Study Guide Kit, which will walk you through how to study for the JLPT, as well as how to build very effective mnemonics so that you can remember kanji and vocabulary the first time you see it. I also walk through how to formulate a good test-taking strategy so you know what units, what sections of the test to focus on to maximize your points and get the best possible score that you deserve. In addition to that kit, I also have grammar guides for the N5 and N4 levels. In those guides, I go over some common mistakes that people make, example test questions, extra practice with grammar points, lots of great stuff. That's available at jlptbootcamp.com/premium. I hope to see you very soon at the premium site. This has been Mac from jlptbootcamp.com.